Phones, and specifically social media, are extremely addicting. As this pandemic continues and restrictions are imposed, people are becoming more glued to the phones now more than ever. The consequences of this addiction are serious. We see people drop in the ability to be present and productive, and there are more subtle consequences such as a decrease in motivation and mental health. I'm Dr. Cassie Preston, a full-time performance coach, and in this video, I'm going to share with you 4 simple steps in order to break your phone addiction. These 4 steps will work for anyone. We see it work daily with the adults and the older athletes we work with, but if you're a parent, they'll also work for your child. But I do recommend you watch this video with them. So let's dive in. Number 1 is to face the facts. You got to know where you are. And this can be uncomfortable, but I want you to do this without judgment. Think of it this way. The goal is to be mindful, to empower yourself to develop habits and choose how you're going to use your phone. So think of this donut analogy, right? So donuts aren't inherently bad for you. They're nice to indulge sometimes, but the question becomes, how many of them are you going to eat? How often? And so the same questions now to ask yourself about your phone use, social media. It's not inherently bad, and be mindful of how much you're using it. So get ready to face the facts. It might be a little bit uncomfortable, but if you don't face them, you're definitely not going to break the habit. So here are the facts you want to face, and I suggest you write these down. Start with your daily average. You can go in, you can view your phone. How often is the average that you're on with screen time per day? Second is to then nail it down a little further, because that's an important number, but what matters is like, what apps are you using and what's the daily average you're using of those? Commonly is like, especially with teenagers, it could be Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. What are your daily averages of those apps? Write those down. A third area to be aware of is how many times you pick up your phone per day. It could be 100, 200 would be a lot. So just being aware of how many times you're picking up your phone a day, your phone can tell you that as well. And lastly, you want to be aware of how many notifications you're getting from your phone a day, particularly if they're buzzing, but it also could even just be badges or your phone's lighting up, etc. And so write those down and which ones are giving you the most notifications. All right, now that you've faced the facts, you can move on to step 2, which is set intentions. And we want to set reasonable, mindful intentions. And here's what I suggest. We want to keep this simple. You want to pick the big apps. Be mindful, set an intention. All right, here's my goal. Instead of it being an hour, 2 hours a day, maybe I'm going to go down to 45 minutes or 30 minutes. What is the intention that you feel is reasonable? You don't have to drop it down from 2 hours to 15 minutes. That might be a little bit extreme. It really helps to write these down, set them as goals and intentions that you're aiming for, targeting for. And again, not too many, 3 max in terms of these plans, these goals and intentions. And they want them to be, doable. You want to get some wins going, make some progress, building this habit of, breaking the phone addiction and building a habit of being mindfully using your phone. So step 3, now we want to make a plan and make it easy, especially because your phones are so addicting. You definitely want to be able to break that habit, make it a bit easier with these plans. Here are the top ones that I suggest you consider. So number 1, no phone beside your bed. If you have your charger beside your bed, which is really common, there's a lot of problems with that. It's going to cut into your sleep. You're going to be scrolling late at night, and you might hit the snooze in the morning. There's all kinds of issues that can come with this. So go move your charger now, make a commitment and a plan that's going to help you manage your social media use by not having your phone and your charger beside your bed. Heck, you probably don't even want your phone in your room, but let's at least start with moving away. Maybe you want to actually get an alarm clock, like an old school style, and keep that phone out of your room altogether, especially at night. Second, you definitely also want to be setting limits on those main apps, on the goals that you're setting. This is just an easy, simple way to remind you, hey, you've hit your 30-minute threshold or whatever you set for your goals and intentions. Also, make sure you don't have a little workaround going where it's like, okay, I'm going to do 30 minutes on my phone and then get another 30 minutes on my iPad. Choose one device that you're going to use that app, delete it off the other one so that you can be more accountable to the time and do it on one device. Changing notifications is another big area to be considering, especially if you're getting lots of dings or buzzes, and then therefore you're getting lots of pickups. There's all kinds of little things you can do in terms of managing notifications and help you be less compelled to be on your phone more and more. Another big area to consider is when you're going to be on your phone and setting rules and plans around that. So particularly nighttime, after 10 p.m., I'm going to shut my phone down, night mode. Those apps, I'm not going to go on them after that time. Very smart. It ties in both with the first step there of not having your phone beside your bed at nighttime. There's other areas and times you might not want to do it as well. And that could be like in the morning or during certain breaks or at class, at school, etc. There's different times where maybe, hey, I'm using it too much on these times. I'm going to set a limit and rule for myself there. The last thing to consider is, what you'll be doing instead. So you're going to be spending less time on your phone. Will you be reading more at night, maybe doing more schoolwork or something meaningful? So make sure you kind of make a plan in your head and intention of what other things you can be doing with your time and energy. So you're almost all set. And step 4 is now huge to sticking to it, following through. So you want to have follow up and an accountability partner. What this means is having somebody that you trust, respect, maybe somebody else that's doing the same thing, that you can share where you're at right now, your facts, what your goal is, and your plan, and then follow up, whether it's daily or definitely weekly. You want to have a review of the progress you've made, the things that worked, what didn't work, and what you're going to be doing in the next week. Lastly, obviously, it's key here to write it down. Don't try and just remember your numbers based on memory. Actually write down some of those key numbers and your goals and your plan so you can see if you met them or not. So those are 4 simple steps. And the bottom line here is your phones are addicting. They're designed to be so. But your job is to be mindful, to set intentions and get in control of your phone so that your phone is not controlling you and you're being constantly addicted to it. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share it with somebody else that you might find helpful. And to learn more about our programs or working with us, just click the link below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.